another edition of Live from Hollywood with your hosts Laci Kay Somers and Franko. I'm Laci Kay. What's up, Franko?
What's going on, Laci? Lately, what I've been doing is trying to teach a lot of people how to actually use Google+. For some reason, it seems like Google+ is like very hard for people to understand. So if somebody from Google+ is listening, I would just ask, would you please make it a little more user-friendly? So what have you been getting into lately, Laci?
I'm so tired. I think I'm jet lagged. I just got back from Seattle, Washington. Like a little vacation, and I had some shoots up there and craziness. It was raining like the whole time, and here in LA it's like super sunny. So, but it was cool. It was different. It was cool. So.
Artificial gun sound.
Cool. Sounds like you had a lot of fun. Today we have two special musical guests in the hangout with us. We have Deloney from Missouri, and we also have Salil Wynette, who is from Charlotte, North Carolina. Well, she's actually living in Charlotte, North Carolina, but she's not from there. We're having a little problem with her video and audio right now, so she'll be responding to us through the chat. So Salil, if you could just type a little something in the chat and tell people where you're from and what you do. And I'll go ahead and ask Deloney the same thing. Deloney, I think I'm pronouncing your name right. If I'm doing it wrong, please correct me, and I definitely mean no disrespect. So tell the people where you're from and what you do.
Yo, the name is Deloney. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. Not East St. Louis, Illinois. You know what I'm saying? Some people get it confused like it's the same thing, but I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm a rapper, producer, multi-instrumentalist, and the occasional music video director, graphic designer.
Cool. So, what made you get started doing music, Deloney?
Well, my father, he was rapping and playing a couple of different instruments like back in the 80s, and I saw him doing it. I thought it was cool, and then along the way, my mother started dating somebody else who later became my stepfather. He was a musician as well, and he influenced me to like really get into music too. So I just I don't know, it's just something I always was interested in, and I just taught myself how to make beats and went from there.
So you actually taught yourself how to make beats?
Yeah, I started taking guitar lessons when I was like 10, and then when I was about 12, I just figured out how to play the keyboard and started making my own beats. I just figured out how to record myself.
Cool. So Lil says, "Hey everyone, I'm excited to be here."
I am.
Actually, I can hear Salil now. Okay, great. And
you can?
Yeah, and I don't hear any music right now. It must have just been like the Google Plus guys just came and said, "Oh, we're gonna bless you in right now." So Salil, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
All right. Well, my name is Salil Wynette, and I am a bilingual vocalist and commercial songwriter. I write music about love, pain, life, anything that can inspire people to want to do better and live better.
Cool. And I know you were telling me that that you weren't really from Charlotte, North Carolina. You just currently live there. So tell the people what's the story behind that. And also, I have a question from Dav, and he wants to know what languages do you sing in. So if you could knock those out, I would appreciate it.
Okay. Well, I sing in Spanish and in English, and I am in Charlotte because I graduated from Winthrop, which is in Rock Hill, which is about 20 minutes away from here. My dad was actually in the military, so we traveled a lot. I was born in Fort Hood, Texas, and we've lived in Butzbach, Germany, Frankfurt, Germany, New York, South Carolina, North Carolina, Kentucky. So I'm not really from anywhere per se. I guess, am a military brat.
Yeah, sounds pretty interesting. So I'm sure you probably learned a lot about different cultures and things like that, right?
Yes, I did.
So, Deloney, so your main source of music is beat making, and was it rapping? Rapping too?
Right, right.
So, if you had to compare yourself to anybody that's out right now, would you throw any names out there?
I actually don't like to compare myself because I like to see myself as, you know, unique and original. But I get a lot of comparisons to like ASAP Rocky and Big Crit and Wiz Khalifa.
Okay, okay, cool. So, are you one of those people that performs your music as well as records your music, or do you only record, or do you only perform?
No, I record all my music and I perform. Right? Never scared, never hesitate to hit the stage.
That's good. So, like a lot of people that I've run into that rap, when I run around and do my and make my rounds, I see a lot of people that just don't perform. You see what I'm saying? They just make CDs
hmm
and stuff like that, but they rarely actually perform. Why do you think that is?
Uh, it's performing is like it's a hard thing to kind of get into, especially when you're up and coming and you might not have a lot of money. I know, especially like here in St. Louis, like sometimes it can seem like it's not supportive and everybody's about the money. So you'll come across like open mics or showcases where artists have to pay to perform and they only get to perform like one song. Sometimes those artists may not even have a dollar to their name at the moment. So they just make a CD and put it on Facebook and hope people download it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you see any of that going on where you are, Salil?
Um, yeah, a lot of times, up and coming artists do have a lot of problems with trying to get booked for shows because a lot of the promoters want artists to pay out instead of, you know, paying the artists that are performing. So a lot of times it is a little bit more difficult. But I think in this industry, a lot of times it's about who you know instead of your talent because it really is just about who you know. The more people you know, the more opportunities you'll be given.
Okay, so do you guys think there are benefits to paying to get gigs?
There could be some benefits, but I don't really advise that you pay because there's a lot of con artists and a lot of scams that's going on.
Have you run into any scams or anything like that?
I haven't, no. But I
What?
also have not paid to perform either.
So you've never paid to perform. What about you, Deloney? Have you ever paid to perform?
Uh, I did once, and it was with this one of these local promoters. He actually let me perform again for free because after him hearing my name, he knew immediately who my father was, the one I was telling you about that used to rap back in like the 80s. And ever since then, I haven't paid to perform. But I think it's when you have if you've never performed before, I think it's okay like the first couple times just to get your feet wet, you know, being on stage in front of people. But after like one or two times, you're not really benefiting because you might get an audience that doesn't really like your style of music, and
But
you're
it
not
did
getting paid.
benefit you, though,
What was
right?
that? What was that, Laci?
I said it did benefit you, though, so that was good that you did that in your position because then he heard you, and then you just kept going and kept performing for him. So in a way, it was
Right,
beneficial for you because if you wouldn't have done that, would he have even seen you? You know what I mean?
right. So yeah, there are benefits, but I wouldn't suggest like continuing to do that to pay to perform.
So now that you guys don't pay to perform, do you guys get paying gigs now, or is it like a mutual trade-off that you do? I guess.
Um, I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm still working on that, but I guess it's like you said, more of a mutual thing. Like I'll just show up and perform a couple songs, but I don't have to pay to get in or to get on stage or anything.
You're from Missouri. Have you been to Branson? I know that's a big music place.
Um, trying to think. I think I may have like when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I take that back. I've been to the Ozarks. I don't think that's the Branson. I don't think I've ever been to Branson.
Well, I know they do a lot of music and they do a lot of oldies, but I know that they also have places where people can perform, such as rappers or singers or whatever. So that's what I was asking.
Okay. Yeah, I've only been to like a couple different places outside of St. Louis in Missouri.
So how's the music scene out there in Missouri?
I could probably say in St. Louis, it's probably different than it is in Kansas City. I don't really know too much about what it's like in Kansas City, but they seem more supportive. It sounds like I'm talking real bad about St. Louis, but it's like if you can make it out of St. Louis, you can make it anywhere, because like I said, everybody's either all about the money or they're all about themselves. Very seldom do you see people like support other artists. You know, everybody's worried about being the best person to come out of St. Louis.
So what do you think that is?
I think part of it is because it's a small market. And then a lot of times I see people, they might post up videos or whatever talking about like Nelly and the St. Lunatics, like he should be putting more St. Louis artists on because he's been established. But honestly, it's not his responsibility. Like, he was able to find a way to make it himself, you know. I feel like everybody else can do, especially nowadays with the internet, you know. There's a way. You gotta have the right everything, right sound, and you have to know it. Like Salil said, you gotta know people.
But at this point, would you even say that Nelly is relevant now? Or is he still doing stuff in the local area of St. Louis?
He's still doing commercial stuff on a national and international level, but as far as like, you know, in comparison to other artists, other rappers that are hot right now, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say he's like, you know, in the top 10 or 20. Not dissing him or anything, but just going off of like, you know, what I've seen, what a lot of people talk about. You know, he's not one of the people that I'm talking about, but he is definitely the most established rapper from St. Louis. And I guess that's why a lot of people look to him for help.
So speaking of that, both of you, question for both of you, how do you guys network, or how would you say is the best way that works for you? Do you hit them all? Do you hit the YouTube, the Facebook, the actually going out to the streets? Like, what would you guys say gets the most fans or viewers or people to you?
I would say the biggest thing would be to, you know, hit the streets, get that street buzz going. But on the flip side, what I've been able to do for myself, I've been able to market through social media, through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Like my internet package is going really well, but if you don't have that initial face-to-face street buzz, you know, it seems like, you know, it's all fake or it doesn't exist.
Salil says she typed in the chat and she said I network using all social media sites and I go to different venues to meet up with people. Salil, are you able to talk now, or did the microphone go dead on you again? I believe the microphone went dead on her again because I am not hearing anything or seeing anything right now.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Salil, we can hear you.
So what's the music scene like there in like over there in Charlotte, North Carolina?
It's great. It's really busy. There's a lot of opportunities to perform against who you know, being at the right place at the right time.
So
because there's a lot of celebrities that live here, they always have shows going on. So
really, it's celebrities in Charlotte?
Yeah, celebrities live here. Fantasia's here.
Oh, okay.
Anthony Hamilton.
Cool. I see that now you're educating me a little bit. So we were talking to Deloney, and Deloney was saying that a lot of times in his town, which is St. Louis, a lot of times people don't really support each other, and they're always about the paying gigs and who can get the most money and stuff like that. I believe I'm paraphrasing them correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, Deloney, but
No, that's right.
yeah. So, Salil, do you experience anything like that in North Carolina?
About what? Paying to perform?
No, about people just not being, about other musicians just not being supportive about you trying to be a musician. They're just not supporting each other. Are they supporting each other in Carolina?
I think that's just a problem with all the races. Like a lot of people sometimes don't want to support for whatever reason. They'll wait until you make it big and then they want to support.
Yeah, it seems like we've been that's been the common theme of what we've been hearing when we've been doing the show. So, Deloney, I know earlier you said that wow, I'm getting overpowered here. Deloney, I heard earlier that you said that your father used to rap, right?
Yeah.
So, what was his sound like? Was it like the 80s rap that used to go on, like the LL Cool J's and the Big Daddy Kanes and stuff like that? Was it like that?
Yeah, I guess he's from St. Louis too, but I guess he had more of like a East Coast 80s style of rapping. I only heard like a few tracks from him, but I remember he had a song that sampled James Brown, The Big Payback. I mean that was his style, you know what I'm saying? Whatever kind of beat it was, it had to be funky, essentially.
So, because you obviously, did you look up to your father?
When I was like really little, I did, but you know what I'm saying, he wasn't around. He wasn't around. And fortunately for me, you know, my stepfather came around when I was, you know what I'm saying, a little shorty, you know what I'm saying. He and my mom, they got married I was about like 10, but he's always been around pretty much my whole life. And that's really the one I look up to.
And did he have anything to do with music?
Yeah, man, he plays guitar too. And
okay.
He's probably like my favorite guitarist. But I learned a lot from him, just from music, just from playing the guitar.
Okay, cool. So would you say that they influence like your overall sound that you have now? Or do you feel more so that you just grew on your own and came about it yourself?
Yeah, I feel like I grew on my own, and like my sound is like a mixture of different things that I hear or see, just like being out, or you know, different things that I may, different songs or artists I may listen to. I mean, like I got influences from Dr. Dre to Lil Jon to Currency, you know what I'm saying, all kind of things. Sade.
Cool. Oh, Sade?
Yeah, I listen to more than just rap music, man. I listen to all kind of music.
See, I think that's good, like being well-rounded. When I was younger, I was just like, I just like rap music. I just want to listen to Eminem. But now it's like I'm more like Salil. I traveled and I got to see cultures and music, and I just got back from Seattle, so it was the home of like Jimi Hendrix, the Rolling Stones, Nirvana. So that was pretty cool. So I think that's good to be rounded like that.
Okay, cool. We have a question from Dav in the back, and he wants to ask Laci, what is the music scene like in Seattle? Did you meet any local artists while you were there?
There's tons of street performers, kind of, I think, like San Francisco, like LA type stuff. I mean, people playing like guitar or whatever. I didn't meet any people. We just kind of walked by. I danced to their music, though, on the street. There's this big museum. I totally can't forget what it was called, but I actually had to leave. But it was like had all the stuff of Jimi Hendrix, Rolling Stones, Nirvana, all that stuff. They were playing like on a big screen all their music because it's like huge for their music scene. That's where all those people, you know, started and came from. So it was actually pretty cool to see, like walking down the streets, like Nirvana posters and all this kind of stuff. It's a little bit different than what I've seen in LA or San Francisco. It's just like the older stuff. But Actually, it was really, really amazing. It was really cool to see.
Cool. Well, I'll just go ahead and introduce a topic for today that I want to get you guys' opinion on. A famous film reviewer passed away by the name of Ebert, and I feel like a lot of people that do music, a good thing for them is to get their music reviewed. But some people say that getting your music reviewed is kind of played out right now. It's going out of style. So, what do you guys think, Deloney and Salil? What I want to know from you is, do you think that music reviewers are still relevant, and how much credibility would you give them as far as if you think that you should change what you do based off of what they say? I guess I'll start with Deloney and work my way around. What do you think about that, Deloney?
Um, I think music. I think music reviews could be cool, but sometimes I just feel like they're very opinionated, and like I was watching. I don't know if you watched Sway's top 10 hottest MCs for like right now or this year or whatever, and just like some of the people that made the list, I felt like they should have been a little higher. I can't remember the name specifically, but some of the people should have been a little higher, and some people should have been lower or not on the list at all. And I wasn't using my biased opinion. I was going off of straight talent and skills, but you know, everybody has, their own niche for what works for them. Some people are very lyrical. Some people just have an interesting sound. Some people can rock the crowd. Some people got good party songs. So I think reviews are relevant, but they can be skewed because they can be very opinionated. It's not a factual thing.
So, Laci, what do you think about that?
I was gonna say it's funny because we just talked about this. I think a few weeks ago, like about the Grammys. Are the Grammys still relevant? And it's kind of the same thing. I just don't. I don't think so. That's just my opinion. I don't think so. Like you said, they have their own opinions, and everybody has one. And like they do with the movies, oh, go see this movie. It's the #1 in America, and it's like, how was that #1? Like, who said that was #1? Because that was a horrible movie. Like, so I totally agree with him, and I just think, I mean, they're probably always going to be out there, but what they say might not be the same thing as what you say, and I just think it's not good.
So Lil typed in and she said, I do believe that music reviewers are relevant because they give you an idea of what people outside of your camp think, which is pretty, I think she has a good point with that. Yeah. But Deloney, let's say somebody reviewed your music, right? Mm-hmm. And let's say that maybe they didn't give you the review that you felt like you deserved. If that was the case, do you think that you would change anything about your approach? Or would you pretty much just knock it off as saying that maybe they just weren't digging your style of music? Would you make any adjustments, if any?
I wouldn't make any kind of changes towards what they were saying. You know what I'm saying? When I put out a project, I make sure that it's quality in all angles. How I'm rapping, my beat selection, the overall concept, everything. So if they give me like a low grade review, then I just take it as that's their personal opinion on it. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean everybody's gonna feel the same way about it.
Because the music you put out is you, and it's what you do and what you like and what you feel. So if they would say something wrong and you would change, that means you're changing yourself, kind of in a way, to fit what you're saying. So I agree, yeah.
And Salil says their views challenge us as writers, performers, and artists to do better, but I wouldn't necessarily change per se. I would make sure that I always remain true to myself. I agree with that, because I think that anybody that makes music, like Laci was saying, definitely has to stay true to who they are. Because if you don't, then what's the purpose of making music? Because it's like you're not selling something that's accurate right now. And I also see the point that that they do kind of challenge you, because let's say that some people that got big that's like a Nelly, like Deloney was talking about Nelly earlier. If Nelly's making the same type of music all the time and people are getting tired of hearing like that style of music, I mean, he deserves to hear honest feedback if people that like his style of music aren't feeling that it's up to par. But that doesn't mean that he has to change, but it's nice to know what the people are talking about.
Right.
Cool. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up for the day. I want to get everybody's website. Oh, wait, Salil had a comment. Yes, because there are a lot of artists who are getting caught up in the hype and they have lost themselves. It is really sad because the change is what has caused them to lose themselves. You must remain true to yourself. There you go. That's better than what I could say. And Salil's website is Salil SALIL Wynette WYNETTE.com, and you can also follow her on Twitter at twitter.com/Salil Wynette. So Deloney, I know you have your microphone open, so if you could just tell people what your website is.
My website is www.deloneymusic.com. That's DELONYMUSIC.com.
And can they follow you on Twitter or something too?
Yeah, on Twitter and Instagram at Daddy Macaroni. It's DADDY. It's DADDY_MACKARONI.
There you have it, Daddy Macaroni. So, Laci, go ahead and tell people how they can hit you up.
You can Google me. No. Laci Kay Somers basically will take you anywhere, to Instagram, to Facebook, to anywhere you want to find me. So.
Cool. Basically, it's book Laci Kay at yahoo.com. I'll flash that on the screen later. I'll flash that on the screen later. And you can hit me up at frankdo at businessbatterypack.com. And so we're about to close now. Does anyone have any closing statements that they want to say?
Man, if you're an up-and-coming artist or if you're up-and-coming in anything, man, just go for it. Don't let anybody tell you no.
Cool. Great points from Daddy Macaroni. I'm just joking with you. Salil says, thank you for the opportunity. I apologize for all the technical difficulties. Be blessed and tell people to never give up on their dreams. Don't give up on your dreams and stay true. Good advice, everybody. Thank everybody for coming on, and I know we had a lot of difficulties. I appreciate Deloney for his patience, because he's been on a long time right now, and I really appreciate.
It's all good.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming on and being patient, and always the magnificent Laci Kay Somers, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye. Thank you, guys.